You want to start or me?
I'll say hi. No, you say hi.
I was waiting.
It's on?
It's on.
Oh. Hi, I'm Andrea.
I'm Jasmine.
And we're Natural Be Ewe Yarns.
This is our Sunday Sip and Stitch podcast, and this is the April edition.
Yes, April already.
April showers bring yarn dyed with flowers was our latest newsletter.
Yes.
I hope you got that. If not, it is posted on our socials for you to follow and read along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I've got seedlings started for the dye garden.
Yes, but unfortunately, you keep reminding me we won't be actually planting anything for at least another month or two.
Right.
It's hard to be impatient. Sorry, it's hard to be patient.
We're planting
There was
impatience.
a joke in there about impatience somewhere.
But we don't dye with impatience.
No, they're not, well, they don't produce color. And if they did, it wouldn't be dye fast.
Right.
So we are learning all the time about natural dyes, and we're trying to
test things and
yeah, before we bring them out to you.
Yeah.
An array of colors. Right.
So
what are we covering this Sunday?
What we're wearing. Look at you.
Well, that's right. I am, throw my hair over my shoulder. It's getting so long. I'm wearing the Tulip top. There are a number of tops on Ravelry called Tulip, but this is the Tulip top by, I think it's Ririnko, or I forget the designer's name. I'll link it in the show notes.
It's a fantastic pattern because
it had multiple variations, cropped or long, A-line. That has mock cabling around a side panel of Tulip in a lace knit, and you could choose to do 3/4 length sleeves or bell sleeves. There was so much variety.
Yes.
It was part of our...
It was a knit along that we did.
Not last January, but the one previous.
Yes.
2022?
Yes.
Yeah. So I knit it in, what was this colorway called? Spice Ginger.
That's right.
Our colors are always changing. So if you like the color, I can find you something similar on our website and in stock. But this was 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that Red Fox, no, Caribou.
Caribou is very similar.
It's very similar, yes.
Caribou was a colorway as part of our Boreal collection.
Mm-hmm. And I'm wearing one that's even from further back, isn't it?
Yes. We did this. This was our last knit along before we moved out east. We did a sweater knit along. I did the diaphanous and you did the Whitehorse.
But that was 2021, right?
Yes.
So
yeah.
It gets, we're always knitting and it's hard to know when we knit when.
Yep.
This is the Whitehorse sweater.
Mm-hmm.
It's a top-down round-yoked sweater with lace work. And then the body and the sleeves are done in reverse stockinette stitch.
So how does that work? You turn it inside out?
You turn it inside out and you're basically knitting stockinette stitch but inside out. And then when you turn it right side out, it's reversed.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes it go faster for
right.
people.
But this one called for DK weight yarn.
Yes, and you did something a bit different.
So I used 2 strands of our fingering, a tonal, and that really made the color more even.
Yeah, it created a wonderful blend of the tones in that skin.
Yeah.
I believe the colorway was called Lily Pad, but
yeah,
we don't have anything but the same right now. We have similar, like
no.
Evergreen.
Oh, Evergreen's a little bit like it, yeah.
Darker version, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
That's the one thing, we always get slightly different colors. So it's not actually going to get boring.
That has to do with the pH of the water,
the
which
amount
can
of dye
fluctuate.
stuff.
And each year the dye stuff, whether it's from our garden or we buy from a supplier, it depends on the soil in which it's grown
and how much that plant that time around actually produces in the color.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of chemical processes behind it, I think, that we're not.
Right.
Well, we're not chemists, but.
What? Not chemicals in the regular sense, like not chemicals as in man-made. It's just in nature, things work with chemistry as well, right?
Yeah, everything has a chemical makeup.
Right.
Yeah, even we do.
Mm-hmm. And your makeup looks nice.
No, that's not what I meant. Thank you. So on Sip and Stitch, we hope you have something to stitch and something to sip.
Tea.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I've got a coffee. And I guess that rolls us right into what's on our needles. Something to sip and something to stitch. So I'm going to show off what's on mine. Or do you want to show what's off?
Yeah, why don't we just do mine first?
Okay.
Because this is the third week of the...
It's a huge project.
This is the third week of our knit-along. And this week is the first sleeve. So I have one sleeve done.
Ooh.
And here's the yoke.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
Yeah, there we go. Got a little bit of the body started. We talked about that on our most recent episode in the Year of Adventurous Knitting podcast, where you have to knit a portion of the body before you can pick up the sleeve.
Yes. And this is a virtual knit along that you're still welcome to join. You do miss us launching the video, but the videos can still be found on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
So if you decide you'd like to knit one of these, there's two versions of the Floozy. I'm doing the sweater, which is called Floozy 2, spelled T-O-O. And then the Floozy is actually a cardigan with the same yoke pattern.
And it's color work but mosaic, so there's no stranding, which if you've been following us along for quite a while now, know that we love that.
Yes, we avoid stranding.
I think stranding 2 yarns at once is okay, but working with 3 or more is a bit tricky for even us.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to feel accomplished in their projects and not disheartened. So we stick with things that we feel are both beautiful design and easy to show tips and tricks and help you along.
I think that for an advanced beginner, the patterns we choose work, and for a more experienced knitter, our knit-alongs are not boring. So it's really, we're trying to be really inclusive. And we try to choose patterns that come in a wide range of sizes as well.
That's true.
And then if you've been following us, you know that we also make up oodles of color combinations for the various knit-along projects that we introduce so that everybody can truly make their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was something like 12 or 13 suggestions just for the Floozy knit-along alone.
So I think down the road we're going to actually put some kits together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you want to join in but you're not sure what yarn you're going to need, message us or leave a comment below and we will let you know.
Always willing to help.
Speaking of our knit-alongs, like each of these was a knit-along, but every year I feel like we get a little bit better at it. They become a little bit more streamlined, especially with these weekly video updates. There's more structure to our knit-alongs now, and
more information.
And people who maybe take a break or can't complete the whole project in a lot of time frame still have ways to access the information and aren't, left with a half-finished project.
Right.
Yeah.
And we also have the group of Adventurous Knitting, which is available for everyone to have discussion. So if you've got questions that perhaps the group can help with, you can post a picture of your issue or what you're proud about in that group, and we can get all of us thinking about how to improve. Or maybe you have a tip for everyone.
Yeah. I think people are a little hesitant to post in the group, but don't be. Any meme or personal accomplishment, anything you want, you can post in the group.
The only thing that there have been some people that aren't really members of the group have been spamming it with some t-shirt sales and stuff, and I just go in and I delete those. Yeah,
we might have to make the group private if that keeps up. And that just means that, you'd answer a couple questions before you become a member. Yeah.
Please don't feel that you can't share things that are not being made with our yarn. if you're posting pictures. We all know that we all have a stash.
Mm-hmm.
And
we just might suggest in the comments some colorways in our yarns that would work for people who want to knit the same thing. Right.
And if you don't have something in your stash that you would prefer to work with, but you need something to complement it in order to do the project, we'd be happy to help you figure out what of our yarns might work.
Yeah. Actually, a couple people did that with the Floozy Knitalong.
Mm-hmm.
They're knitting from stash and just needed a couple more items to make it work.
Because the nice thing about this pattern is that the part that's cream colored on this sweater is just needs a 50-gram ball that we sell in various colors, and then the dark purple was actually using a mini from our advent calendar. We don't always have a lot of minis in stock, we try. Yeah,
we do right
there
now.
are a few, aren't there?
There are, yeah. Why don't you actually, for those who aren't following along with the knit along, why don't you hold it up and just talk about which colorways you're using? Because I know with hand-dyed yarns, people are sometimes hesitant to make a sweater out of it, afraid of pooling and or what all those beautiful colors in that one twisted skein are going to come out to look like. So. And
this one here is one of our busiest yarns. Mm-hmm. We dye this once a year for Pride, our Ode to Pride, and it's called Everything is Love. This was the second dye lot.
I'm glad that you're showing off the sleeve because you did have to switch yarns. There is a tiny little bit of pooling, but it hardly is noticeable.
I was trying to avoid it so much.
There's just, I don't even think it's pooling so much as you can just tell that you used a ball with a little bit more green in it.
Yeah, and so even in the same dye lot, the colors in the skeins will vary a little bit. So in the last video for the podcast, we did cover how to carry yarns up the inside of your work without needing to restart your yarn every time.
And the yoke features Frost is the 50-gram skein, and Elderberry is the mini, the purple color.
From the Advent calendar?
Nope, that's just what we have in stock. If you're knitting from the Advent calendar, a similar tone, it's a little bit lighter, a similar tone in purple would have been the Haskap Jam.
That's right, because Haskap berries are native to the Maritime provinces, specifically Nova Scotia.
I'm not sure. I think specifically Nova Scotia. The write-up on it was extensive, but I don't retain all the information all the time.
It's an antioxidant, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So every day of the Advent reveal, I not only revealed what we used to dye the yarn and what the name was, but then a little bit of history on why we named it that and how it relates to the Maritimes, and more often than not, specifically Nova Scotia. So we are putting forth some full skein options throughout the year of popular colorways in the Advent. Not on any schedule, sort of just as a surprise. Right? And a couple that have come out are Beach Pebbles, Clementine.
That bird.
Yes, the Purple Finch
was
a huge favorite. All of these colors can be found on our website and in our past posts if you just want to scroll through our Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, so on to what I'm doing.
Yes.
On my needles.
Jasmine's doing something exciting.
Well, right now, I don't know if it looks like much, but I am starting my own pattern. Okay.
I'll just hold down the...
Okay, you hold down the ends. And it's going to be a triangular shawl, and it's starting with a
You mean rectangular? Rectangular
shawl, that's what I meant. It's starting with a lovely chevron pattern. I don't know if you can tell. You're not holding down the ends very well, Mom.
Well, it's in front of your face and you're talking. I was thinking you might want to lower it.
So I am starting with a color called Wild Sumac, and it's going to transition from chevron, which is like a stocking net bias, not a traditional chevron, to lace patterns that are going to look like mermaid tails. And back again, it's going to use 2 full skeins and 2 50-gram skeins. The 50-gram skeins can be alternated for minis if you are knitting from an Advent calendar.
So it would use 4 minis, right?
4 minis instead of 2 50 grams. Yeah, we're going to have kits made up when I'm finished. Hopefully a great photo shoot, and perhaps it'll be part of our next knit along.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away.
No, that's it.
But I can show
anyway.
off some of the other stuff because I started by trying to theorize different stitch patterns, and I didn't block them yet, obviously, because I want to unwind the yarn. No, Mom, stop, please.
Can't see.
I want to unwind the yarn and use it again as scraps and something else. But I was playing around, and then I needed to make it wider. So if it works on one chevron, what does it look like over multiple chevrons? And what does it look like leading from the chevron into the lace? So I've had a lot of fun planning and designing this. It's a lot of math and a lot of sometimes a headache because I can't figure out how I'm going to make it work. But I think I've got it sorted now, and I'm really excited to show you the end results. Hopefully that's not too far off.
By the end of our knitalong?
Oh, well, just throw me to the wolves there, Mom.
You've got 3 weeks.
That's right. We are on week 3, right? The next video comes out this coming Thursday, April, oh God, I don't know the date. April 11th, I believe that is.
Yeah, 11th or 12th.
That's 11th. April 11th, and in that we'll be starting week 4. So we're going to start talking about doing the second sleeve, and well, it goes up to week 6, and then all of week 6 we have to complete it or get as far as we can, and the finale will be, I guess, the beginning of week 7. We'll have a finale and a sign off and a check-in all at once.
And draw for the...
Yes, and draw for the prize.
Oh, we may need to... Yeah, you'll have to, during week 6, the last of the posts with progress will need to be made prior to that 7th Thursday.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that's me working on my projects. What about you, Mom? What have you been working on? Besides the knit-along.
Yarn.
I know.
And bags.
That's why I wanted you to introduce what's in front of us.
So, we try to always have, well, we need to replace stock, but we try to always get up a new color is coming in so that there's always a variety. And sometimes we get a little surprise even when we're dyeing because depending on the pH of the water and whether or not I manipulate it, I can get various different tones. And so, and sometimes I add innocent things like cream of tartar, things that you can buy at the bulk barn. But it changes the pH of your water, and that will sometimes alter the color of your yarn, which as a result means that you really should use a pH balanced wool wash when you use our yarns.
Well, with any yarn, I think.
With
or
any yarn,
fine.
yeah.
But specifically with ours, is that our segue into soak?
Yes.
Okay, so I have the unscented soak bottle here.
And I have one called Celebration.
So Soak is a Canadian company. It's made in Canada.
Yep.
In Mississauga. It's what's great about it is it's a rinse-free, environmentally friendly formulation. So it's made with plants derived and renewable ingredients. And it's biodegradable, phosphorus-free, and dye-free. There are some with fragrance, though, which are lovely.
And we have testers. For those of you that are able to come right into the studio shop, you can actually have a little sniff.
One of our best sellers is Celebration. I have it in front of me. I believe it smells like, I want to say begonias and something else. It's very floral and fresh and fun. One of our best sellers.
I like the pineapple one.
Yes.
And it smells like you're on the beach with a drink.
It does. And then there's one called Lacey. Maybe Lacey's the one with the begonias. Anyway, they're lovely scents, and they're really good. A tiny capful goes a long way. So a bottle this size, like Eucalan, will last you forever.
Right.
But that leads us into the yarn you dyed. What did you dye?
I made this color.
Ooh.
The closest thing that we had to this in the Advent was Lunenburg.
You love reds. So it's always...
Red's my favorite color.
So it's always lovely when we get a red.
Yes.
Sometimes she says they lean too pink or too orange. I feel like this is perfect in between.
And maybe I actually like the wine color, like the burgundy.
You do quite like burgundy and merlot tones. Yeah.
Yes. But this is true red.
But we're not going to call it that. In fact, we can't come up with a name.
I think we should call it Lunenburg.
Okay. I was going to ask in the comments, but I like that. And that's because there is, what is it, Knox and something? There's a fishery, a building on the port.
Oh, on the waterfront in
on
Lunenburg.
On the waterfront in Lunenburg that is quite iconic.
And it's this color.
And it's been used in movies and TV series. In fact, when I wrote up about our colorway, very similar, called Lunenburg for the Advent calendar, I listed quite a few. Things like Lock and Key, The Sinner. These are recent series on television. And
Oh, that featured the waterfront in Lunenburg?
Yeah, and Stephen King's novel Dolores Claiborne that was turned into a movie. I believe it was also filmed in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. So.
We're going to have to come up with a color for the Pictou waterfront.
We had one a while back.
We had, no, Pictou Sunset.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
So
what a fun name. What a fun color.
One. Yeah.
And it goes lovely with, what are you calling this one?
Don't know.
I thought you said something about beach bonfires.
Oh, yes. Fire on the beach. No.
No. Beach bonfire, maybe. It has flecks of brown in it to represent sort of the driftwood pieces that you were talking about.
Right, and the sand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when it's wet, the sand is darker, and when it's light, it's...
I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch. What do you think we should name it?
Yes. And do you think we should call this Lunenburg, or should we call it something else?
I really like Lunenburg.
And look at the way they go together.
Oh,
so
they're
nice.
gorgeous. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. We're going to, a lot of people want some undyed yarn for contrast in their projects, so we're going to be
But look at that. That would make a fantastic fade.
We're going to be having a little bit of frost or cream or whatever we call it available online as well, just in case you need to throw in a skein with whatever project you're working on.
Yep. Next.
So this is like dye lot 1 and dye lot 2, and this just goes to show sometimes how things can differ ever so slightly with natural dyes. I think it happens with acid dyes as well, but when working with acid dyes, they have a tiny bit more control over what they're doing. These colors really pop. Like these two dark tones, oof.
Oh, wow.
That's so fun. And we've been doing a lot of light pastel tones for spring, so it's nice to see two vibrant jewel tones again added to the collection. Again, we don't have a name yet for this. Weren't we thinking like Northumberland Fog or something for that? What else did you say?
I don't know.
Not dunes. You said something? No, you said something the other day.
I did?
Yes.
I always say things. And then forget.
Yes. You always forget. But, so we don't have names for those yet. That's kind of sad. What do you think? Drop something in the comments. Let us know what you would call those colors. Help us out. Because I can't upload them to the website until we have a name.
Right.
And I would like to have this website update available by Saturday of the coming weekend.
So, the other thing to mention about the new colors is that they are going to go very well with a lot of the old colors that we already have available. I think.
Was that something we needed to mention?
Well, I think that for people that are new, they may not realize how much our yarns do coordinate. I even think that goes.
Yes, here. Wild Sumac and this new one. Oh, it's pretty. There's a bit of gray in this purple. So one of the ways that Andrea can achieve gray tones is by using an iron modifier with logwood chips. And that takes the purple from a true sort of purple like what's in your sweater there.
Yeah, like the dark purple in my...
Or just even hold up your sleeve, right?
Right.
The purple tones in that sleeve.
It alters them.
It becomes a bit darker, like a bluish hue to it, and gray. We get gray in there. So,
right.
Yeah, wonderful job manipulating the dye. But it even affects, like, say this has a lot more purple in it, but there are still bluish gray hints in there where it was modified a bit, and it really catches the light lovely. So.
And if you try to manipulate purple too much, you can actually turn it brown. Like
you did there.
Which I did here, because I put a different modifier in, but I wanted this to be purple. But actually, I really like the way it turned out.
Yeah, I'm actually glad it's not purple.
Yeah.
Would have been too much purple all at once.
It would have.
Some people, that's not possible. They say there's never enough
This
purple.
is a really warm color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had people ask us if we do workshops or teach natural dyeing. We simply don't have the time, and we have a few unique techniques we make, well, you do, definitely, to achieve some of the colors or the segments of colors that we get on our yarns. So, because we don't have the time and it's an industry secret, we do suggest that you approach people who do workshops and classes, and we met one recently.
Yeah. Mamie's Schoolhouse in Cape Breton does online workshops, and she has videos on YouTube as well that you can watch and get an introduction to what she does.
Do you remember the name of the Facebook group?
No.
I know, I'm terrible for that. I've got a bit of a migraine today, so I feel like my mind's especially gone right now. But there's a natural dyeing Facebook group.
Natural Dye Education, maybe?
That might be it. Natural Dye Education on Facebook. There's something like 20,000 followers, I think she said. So it's a huge community, and lots of people post their experiments and what they're working with, and there's a lot of information.
There's a lot of discussion about what might and might not work or how things are done. But I think that if you really seriously want to do some dyeing, you need to actually do experimentation as well as reading material that is going to give you factual information. And I think that it's important to check and see who you're even taking courses from. I know that Mamie's Schoolhouse has been doing this for a long time. She has an education in how to
she has a chemistry background.
Yeah, she has a chemistry background, so she understands what does and doesn't work and how you can manipulate things. And so if you really seriously want to learn the craft, then that would be something that I would suggest you should look into.
Right.
And with that, we can go to what's
next?
We're speeding right through everything.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. It's because of the migraine. I'm not taking as much time to relish in the conversation as I normally would. But you have been busy creating some more bags. The bucket bags came out on the website in March. A lot of people fell in love with your earlier designs, and you've stepped it up and now are using some new materials. Want to talk about
this is upcycled tapestry, actually, and it's brand new fabric, but I happen to be lucky and find it quite a number of years ago now. I've actually had it.
Well, when you find a good deal, you hold on to it until you have the right project, right? I know
But
a lot
the
of
band,
quilters out there will
the
understand.
band around the top does have a little bit of eco printing on it.
And it's been naturally dyed.
It's lined, it has an inner pocket, and at where the band meets the bag, in there, that's the level at which there's a drawstring to close the bag up.
Yeah.
So
that's just one of many of the bucket bags that you've been making.
They're all one of a kind because different fabrics get used for both the body and the band. And so it takes a little bit more time for Jasmine to photograph, catalog, and upload those to the website.
That's right. I haven't done it yet. Getting the yarn on the website is priority. If you are interested in seeing what we have to offer in bucket bags, I know there are only 2 varieties on the website right now. Let me know. I can snap some photos and send them off to you. But more than just the bucket bags, you went and made another little nifty thing.
I did. I made this nifty little thing. it's like it has a round bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and the idea was for it to maybe be a bucket bag, but I think that it's actually a little bit too tall to
What are you saying?
I don't know.
Just stop talking.
My
Okay.
mind's not working right.
Okay.
So it is actually got a loop on the one side and a longer strap on the other. So instead of a drawstring, you put the longer strap through the shorter one, and then you can just put that over your arm.
That's how it closes, and that's how you can carry it. It's big enough for your socks on the go, a smaller project on the go.
Yeah, one skein project.
Now, oh, there's a little bit of fluff. Now, did you have pockets inside of this one? I don't
No,
think
there's
so.
no pocket. Is
So
there
there's
another
something-
one just off camera?
No.
Oh, okay. I like the fact that you can actually stand this up, the same as the large bucket bags.
Mhm.
And if you want to actually sit and fold this down so that you've got kind of like a little yarn bowl.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to say about that?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. You kind of did things out of order.
Of course I did.
Of course you did. So so talking about soak was supposed to lead into a new segment. Andrea wants to add on a new segment to our Sunday Sip and Stitch where we talk about not just small business, but the environment and ways in which we can sort of be conscious consumers or ethical consumers.
The environment and other issues in the world are on a lot of people's minds, and it's sometimes hard to know how to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've had a lot of discussion about that between ourselves. And sometimes when you can't make a difference in a large way, you need to maybe start some ripples in a small way. And that way everyone actually can make a difference.
Okay. So what I think you're trying to say is that as a consumer, you have buying power,
Yes.
right? And as we can see a lot of times, even when we reach out to our politicians, they don't literally listen to what the people want. They listen to the money that lines their pockets. So you need to be a little bit smarter about how you support the causes that matter to you. So because we care so much about the environment, and that is our whole ethos behind what we do,
It's with the yarn, yeah.
and why all of our dyes are compostable and all of our packaging is eco-friendly and also trying to be compostable.
Or reusable.
Yes. And so why we support wonderful products like soak. But we pull that not just from our business, but into our everyday life. And so I think we just want to feature a couple products, or I don't know, I don't want it to be like we're not sponsored by anyone and it's not a commercial.
No, I just think that it's an opportunity for us to open up a discussion for people that may have a suggestion for others.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to put that in the comments, or if you're in the group of adventurous knitting, that's a good spot to maybe have a discussion as well.
Right.
And so, but we just want to say, like, this isn't just something we do to make money. This is actually a way we like to live.
Right, which is why we always talk about how we've changed our bases. They're no longer chlorine superwash. They're no longer nylon blends. When we do have synthetics like nylon or polyester in the yarns that we offer, we always look for recycled options because there is enough of those synthetic materials in the world, and we have the technology now as a society to recycle them. We don't need to be producing new.
Yes.
Right. So one of the things like we wanted to talk about today is Canadian company Ecomax. We were talking about, for your woolens, your knits, your
fine washables,
lingerie and swimwear. Soak is fantastic and it's a non-rinse option, but we all have to do laundry and the convenience of the washing machine has taken over, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time we don't realize that not only is laundry detergent mostly water, but it's filled with harsh chemicals and such, right? Like,
yeah. So we found this and we're really happy. We've been using it for a while, And
Ecomax. And when we bought it, I didn't know it was a Canadian company.
Didn't we already buy that in Ontario?
Yes. It's been around since the 90s, but they've really taken over as leaders in green cleaning. Specifically, I think they started with commercial cleaning products, and now you can
Okay, you
find
can put it down.
all-purpose house cleaners. No, I can't.
We can read it.
All-purpose house cleaners and laundry detergents and dishwashing soap.
Veggie wash.
They
Didn't
have
you
a
say
veggie wash.
They have a veggie wash.
And they have a non-toxic hypoallergenic spray to clean toys for children, like baby strollers and high chairs and all of that. What we
And
loved,
they're Canadian.
yes, this is made in Mississauga. And what we loved about them is not only are they sulfate and phosphorus free and there's no synthetic fragrance, but they're gentle on fabrics. So if you do throw in your knit socks on a gentle wash, we do that. I think it would be okay. But the bottle itself, it's called an Enviro bottle.
Yeah, and the whole thing is vegan approved. Nothing's been tested on animals.
Right. So the bottle's made with recycled plastic, and they don't do animal testing, which was great. And again, no synthetic fragrance, safe in septic tanks. There's just
and it works.
And
We've
it works.
been using it for years.
We smell great.
Yeah,
I promise.
We're not just pushing something that doesn't work.
So I think that's just. I like to know that they were owned by Prism, which is a Canadian corporation, and they're not just one of the duopolies in the laundry detergent option. So even if you can't buy small, buy smart.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of products hidden in the local grocery stores that aren't produced by large companies. We've become aware of a few of them just by shopping, right?
Right.
And didn't you post about Bob's Red Mill?
Yeah.
Bob's
So I found out recently that Bob from Bob's Red Mill unfortunately passed away. But when he did, he left his company to his employees. So I'm not sure entirely how that works, but it was restructured. It's owned by the employees. I'm assuming they all have shares. Owned and operated by, I think, 700 employees.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's fantastic.
So that's a sense of community. That's someone that's, cares about the people that they work with. And just like we try to buy the yarn that we resell and use from fair trade companies, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the animals, it's also the employees that matter.
Right. When the GOTS certification and the Blue Sign Seal are talking about the environmental practices behind the washing and carding and spinning of the fiber, but also the husbandry of the animals, the treatment of the animals, and the employees, right? So all of that matters to us. And I think if you're following us, that matters to you too.
And maybe there's something that you use or have discovered that we would benefit from knowing about. And so if you would like to share that in our group or in the comments for this video, we'd love to see that.
Yeah. I think we have recently had a discussion where we need to start talking more about the environment and why we do what we do. So I hope that hasn't come as a shock to anyone. We'd love to go over why we choose our yarn bases or what makes them special, but it runs deeper than that, right?
Yeah, it's not just a gimmick to make money with. Yeah.
So we've said before, there are natural dyers who are still using superwash yarns, and if you don't know, there's a number of reasons why you shouldn't use superwash yarn. It's an extremely toxic process, traditionally done with chlorine, that the waste water management of that becomes a problem. The
yarn itself is no longer biodegradable.
Yes, because after they descale it, they have to fill in sort of the holes, for lack of a better term. They coat it with a resin. And our GOTS yarn, we don't have any in front of us. This one here. They do, it's a type of resin, but it's, I think, a plant-based one or something like this. And they don't coat the whole yarn, just the little spots that need it. I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
It's called the Schuler XP method. It doesn't use chlorine, and they're very tight-lipped about the process because it's patent, and they have sort of cornered the market on it. And I think we're one of the only natural dyers
We were
that...
so excited when we discovered.
So excited. Because now that larger distributors like Estelle Yarns and Baracco are offering GOTS certified products, it's fantastic and we have them on our shelves. But we couldn't, as dyers, buy them for the longest time. We knew about them, we couldn't source them. And I think we're still one of the only indie dyers, certainly one of the only natural dyers, who is using GOTS certified yarns with their dye.
And our eco base, as you know, is 80% untreated merino and 20% recycled nylon. So we really try.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just dropped stitches, so I have to pick them up.
Oh no.
And this segues into exactly what else I wanted to talk about.
Terrific.
How natural.
I don't know what she's talking about, so I am all ears myself.
Right. I was going to talk about my stitch stoppers. We've mentioned them before.
Yes.
Cocoknits is a sustainable company that is focused on offering sustainable knitting notions and extras, like these stitch stoppers, which are made with, oh my god, what kind of foam is that? I'm not sure. It's
You're gonna have to put it in.
EVC. I'm gonna have to look it up, but it's a type of foam. The stitch stoppers.
It's made like with recycled plastics or something.
Yes, yeah. It's like a friendly, earth-friendly option. They slide all the way on your needles rather than just the tips, so you're not gonna knock them off when you're carrying your yarn in your bag. They have various sizes come in the packaging to fit all your needles, from your sock knitting up to your chunky knits, and the packaging itself is craft paper, cardboard, all biodegradable. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah,
like
and we have stitch markers from that company and snips and a couple of other things.
And they're made out of, the snips are made out of forged steel. The stitch markers themselves aren't plastic. They're also metal.
They're coated, but
yeah,
they're metal.
So just like smart ways to move forward with your knitting. And considering how many stitch markers we all lose and have to replace.
It'd be good if it was good for the environment.
Yeah, wherever they end up.
Yeah, so, and is that lead into anything else?
No, I think that's us.
And remember that part of being in the part of the slow fashion movement is, if you're knitting at all, you're part of the slow fashion movement. So we're all doing our little part, right?
Right.
And so it's important to feel good about what you do. And if there are all different ways of looking at it that boost that even more, so be it. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's
please.
free for you, but it
really
means so much.
It really
to us.
does mean so much to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until next time, be natural.
Be you.
Bye.
Bye.